The former Chancellor Jeremy Hunt was speaking to Laura Kuenssberg for the first time since becoming the shadow Chancellor, after just managing to keep his seat. However, throughout the entire interview he's still trying to push the Labour tax rise line and trying to make out that the finances are in tip-top shape, which seems to be the Conservatives' standard speech at the moment. However, during the interview he openly admitted that he had lied during the election and they ran on a campaign of cutting taxes. Yet when pushed on the subject, he had to admit that it wouldn't be in the autumn for cutting taxes like they had promised. And yet they're still trying to make out that people haven't had it so good. After suffering the biggest defeat the Conservative Party's ever faced, they still think that cutting down on public sector pay, reducing spending and looking at the welfare bill is actually going to endear people to re-vote for them probably next time. It's like, haven't they learned anything? The public have sent them a massive message, and all they've done is stuck their fingers in their ears and gone tax cuts, and let's move further to the right. So here he is, proving why they are completely unfit to govern.
Were you ever going to be able to cut taxes in the autumn?
Well, I believe I was looking until a couple of weeks ago at the same numbers that Rachel Reeves is now looking at, and it's very clear that if you are prepared to show restraint on public sector pay, as we did last year, if you're prepared to be ambitious on public sector productivity, as I was in the budget, and you're prepared to do welfare reform, which was glaringly absent from the King's speech. If you do those three things, it's perfectly possible to balance the books in a way that means that taxes don't have to rise. Now, I think it's very clear from what we've seen in the first 2 weeks of this Labour government that they're not prepared to take those difficult decisions.
I'm asking you a question about what you were planning to do, because during the election campaign, our viewers heard you and your colleagues sitting in that chair every week saying that you would cut taxes. And there have been reports this week that now in the shadow cabinet, you told colleagues that actually the Treasury had said you wouldn't be able to do tax cuts in the autumn. Is that true, or do you deny that you said that?
Well, we said, and I still believe very strongly, that if we're going to grow as an economy, we can't do what Labour is now doing, which is ignore the evidence from around the world that countries with lower taxes have higher growth.
I want to answer your question. I want you to directly answer this question.
I will answer your question. I will answer. But we always said we would cut taxes in a responsible way. We never said that we would cut them as soon as this autumn, and that would depend on the public finances. And so we were very clear. But yes, we did have plans in place that would have allowed us to reduce the tax burden.
But your campaign was on a promise of cutting taxes. Do you deny telling the shadow cabinet in the last week that the Treasury said you wouldn't have been able to do it this autumn?
I don't think we would have been able to do it immediately, no. But I think we would have been able to do it in time, and we had plans in place to do that.
After leading his party to the worst ever Conservative defeat, Rishi Sunak summed up his political career in under 1 minute. It's quite impressive. So go watch that next. The video is on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.